Well, welcome back to Moscow for the 7th round of the FIA Formula 3 European Championship. In the Formula 3 European Championship, the engineers use radio to communicate with their drivers during all the sessions. We went behind the scenes at the Prema Power team. Team manager Rennie Rosin talking to his team and drivers, explaining the main issues to expect in the next qualifying.
There is a lot of competition, and having the two important lap time made when the tire is the best is really fundamental. So we try to manage with the drivers the right space at the right moment, and in the end we manage to have information in case there is any yellow flag where the drivers need to slow down, and as well if there is any other information like track limit where the drivers need to respect.
So driver and team are always connected with one another. Here is Dennis van der Laar with his engineer during qualifying for the second race here in Moscow. For the Dutchman, 8th place in qualifying is not a bad result.
Okay, stop on the brake, engine off. Water temperature? Pretty good. A bit on the steering guys, it's... Okay, the starter is going to be 1 by 6,000 now. 71.
As the green flag waves, we're ready for race 2. Five lights and out, and it's a relatively clean start from the whole field. That's Roy Nissany disappearing early on, rejoining the track further back. So Ocon back out in front with Woko second and Blomqvist third. Verstappen rounding out the top 4. We're watching a recovering Nissany attacking Sean Gilal. And they touch at the last corner. Slow-mo of the incident. Roy Nissany nowhere near close enough to make that move. And Sean Gilal getting very sideways on the exit of turn 1 and spinning on the entry to turn 2. Meanwhile, Ocon continued his strong form in the lead. And he quickly opened up a big gap. Frenchman really driving faultlessly around the Moscow Raceway, pushing that Prema Power team car to the limit, but not beyond. And heartbreak for Max Verstappen, clearly slowing and in trouble. He's got going again. So there's clearly an issue with Max Verstappen. Further back, we're watching the fight between Felix Sorales and Dennis van der Laar. And van der Laar defending from Sorales into turn 1. Still under pressure through turn 2. And it wasn't long before Max Verstappen having to give up and returning to the pit lane.
Yeah, I mean, the engine lost all power on the straight, and then yeah, just the last. I tried to continue, but we lost. Everywhere we had no power anymore. So I think something inside the engine, or I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is very frustrating, but it remains a technical sport. I can't change this. This is something inside, and you can't. We couldn't prevent this.
And out front, Esteban Ocon on the way to his second win in Moscow. Fuoco still in second, and Blomqvist on the final step of the podium. Checker flag waves, and it's 2 out of 2 for the Frenchman. And outside the top 3, that's a good result for Lucas Auer, Jordan King 5th, and Jake Dennis recovering his form to round out the top 6.
And see what I could do with Antonio, but you know, he was struggling quite a bit, to be honest, because our pace dropped off quite a lot. So yeah, I mean, I never really showed the true potential of the car, but the car was working really well. So hopefully in the final race, starting from P2, we can, you know, make something of it.
In the middle of the race, maybe Tom was a little bit faster than me, but yeah, it's difficult to overtake in this track, so he stayed behind. And yeah, I'm happy for this result, and I'm happy for have the chance to help in Esteban.
It was all about tire degradation and managing how was the gap behind on Antonio, and congratulations also to him. We did a good car together, thanks to Prema and Mercedes-Benz.
With Esteban Ocon extend his championship lead in race 3, we'll be back with all the action after a short break.